Okay, welcome to another world history screencast. Today's topic is mercantilism. Now, mercantilism is an economic system that's going to develop around the time of the Age of Exploration. Okay, economic system is a fancy term that gets thrown around. What we're talking about with an economic system is just simply how money flows and moves within a country or between countries. Okay, an economic system, we're talking about the flow of money. All right. So this shouldn't be this should be familiar to you. We have an economic system in place today, and you're probably familiar with something like this. In our economic system today, businesses and companies provide products, or in other words, if you want to think of it as just stuff. All right, think of any company and the product they provide. So, for example, McDonald's provides food, cheeseburgers, and whatnot. A clothing store, whatever's popular today, Abercrombie and Fitch, is that still popular? Anyways, they provide clothing to the people, all right, products or stuff to the people. And in return, of course, to receive those products, people have to give money to the business or company. Okay, so again, in today's society, we look at the flow of money between people and businesses and companies. Now, importantly for world history, we'll talk about mercantilism, which is how money flowed during the Age of Exploration. So our definition for mercantilism is this here. Mercantilism is the economic system that dominated Europe during the Age of Exploration, 16th and 17th centuries. All right, and the key idea behind mercantilism was this belief. Many European nations at the time believed that a nation's strength depended on its wealth, measured in silver and gold. In other words, if I am from Europe at this time and I'm a mercantilist, I believe I believe what makes my nation great is how wealthy it is, how much gold and silver I possess. That's the belief behind mercantilism. So one more time, the definition of mercantilism is the economic system that dominated Europe during the Age of Exploration, 16th and 17th centuries. And the key idea behind mercantilism, people who believe in mercantilism believed that a nation's strength depends on its wealth, measured in silver and gold. Now, next thing, there was a problem that resulted from this thought process. Mercantilists during this time, in other words, people who believed in mercantilism and believed that was the way the economy should work, they believed there was only a fixed amount of wealth in the world, meaning there was only so much gold and silver to go around. And what happened was this led to fierce competition between nations in order to get the biggest share of the wealth. Okay, so European countries that were all colonizing the Americas and the New World, they looked at these places and they said, this is where we can get more and more wealth, gold and silver. However, they knew that neighboring countries were also trying to do the same thing, so they both would compete for more territory in the New World. And this competition ended up being fierce and oftentimes led to wars during the age of mercantilism. European nations would go to war with each other. All right, and our result of mercantilism is this. Colonies, in other words, the places that were set up by the mother countries of Europe. You can think of the original 13 American colonies as an example. To the countries in Europe, those colonies existed solely for the benefit of the European country or mother country. Okay? So setting up colonies was simply to benefit the mother country. All right. Now, we'll take a look. We looked at our image to represent today's economy. Let's take a look at something from a mercantil or a similar image, but for a mercantilist economy. All right. So instead of businesses and people, we have mother countries and we have colonies. And the flow of money worked like this. The mother countries provided manufactured goods, all right, things like shirts or things like processed food, all right, to the colonies. In return, the colonies would provide the raw goods needed. So, for example, cotton is needed to make the shirt, all right, or wheat is needed to make the bread. So the colonies provided raw goods, and then the manufactured goods, the finished products, would come back to the colonies. Now, we said in mercantilism this existed only to help the mother countries. How did that work? Look what's happening here. The mother countries are providing the goods, and in order to get the goods, the colonies are having to pay money. So this is all profit for the mother countries. All right, they're receiving the goods from the New World and then selling the product to the colonies, and what's coming back their way is money. And what was good when you think about if you're a mercantilist, what did you think made you great? That's right, money. So lastly here, in mercantilism, small amount of money means you're not great. But a large amount of money, just like Batman says, thumbs up. That's fantastic. All right. So mercantilist, it was all about compiling the largest amount of wealth. All right. So that's our screencast on mercantilism. Good luck in your world history class.